Girl, you gonna remove us from in the middle? She's stupid.
Girl, is this motherfucking glass clean? What is all of this shit in here? You need some motherfucking Palmolive or something. All these fingerprints and dust bunnies and water spots and shit. Or is that Cascade that the lady used to say on the commercial? Was it Cascade? How old are you, niece?
No.
You may not know.
You don't ask a woman how old she is, okay? Just like
when you're not aging like spoiled milk, you can say your age.
Well,
come on, somebody.
Well,
she looked good for 29. She looked younger than you.
Age like the others.
That's right.
This woman right here, girl, because you had a rough 30, honey. Real rough 30s, honey.
Niece, how old do you think I am? Let me stand up so you see this body.
Girl,
legs and hips and body.
I would say 39, 40, but he just said you had a rough 30. So
I'm 46.
Older than 40. Okay.
She just wanted to be nice, you know.
Listen, when Carlton and I were in Maryland or somewhere,
let me tell you
the lady was like, what you about 28, 29? We were in Ohio. But you know, they age differently in Ohio.
29, she knew you were lying.
She sure, I don't do drugs. What is this you handing me?
Well, girl, don't you do edibles?
Well, yeah, now that I do. Hey, niece.
Bring y'all ass on up.
Y'all need to hit that like button because I don't see no likes.
When I released my first book, I remember thinking very heavily about Elon Harris and how he did it, how he managed to reach millions of people around the world through his work, and how I would do it. His readers became my readers. I write because it's my passion. I write with Black people on my mind and Black gay men in my heart. Toni Morrison gave me the courage to say that out loud.
Yes, I can write about white people. White people can write about Black people. Anything can happen in art. There are no boundaries there.
I could write about anything, anyone, but I choose to write about our experience.
And I've spent my entire writing life trying to make sure that the white gaze was not the dominant one in any of my books.
Book of Jewels is my love letter to Black people.
It has nothing to do with who reads the books. Everyone, I hope, of any race, any gender, any country.
Book of Jewels is 11 of the biggest life lessons that I've learned to date, and the stories behind those lessons. Book of Jewels is available now on Audible, all e-readers, and Amazon.com. Visit www.craigthewriterstewart.com for more information.
What's up, y'all? Your boy is back. Guess what, y'all? I am coming back to your TV screen, your computer screen, or whatever goddamn screen you be watching me on. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Real KeonStafford. Cause baby, I got some old nasty exclusive content coming for y'all this year, baby. So make sure you catch me live weekly. That's 9 p.m. weekly, y'all. So hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe button. All at The Real KeonStafford. And while you at it, follow me on all social platforms at The Real KeonStafford. Like I said again, your boy is back. So y'all know when y'all with me, we gonna laugh, cry, talk shit, and have some fun. So see y'all soon. Bye.
Girl, we ain't running all them commercials tonight. You had a long one already. We ain't finna do all that. We gonna get back to the show.
Girl, back to this glass. Who cleaned this?
Girl, I just was touching it, girl. You know my hands.
Girl, no, this was dusty on the inside.
No, it's not, bitch. Here, you want to get this one?
Let me see. Girl, that ain't no better. Here.
Girl, pass the hookah.
Girl, what you on a budget with the coals, girl? You got one call on here, girl. I feel like I got a collapsed lung.
Girl, you didn't even know I had one call.
Girl, I feel like I got a collapsed lung in here trying to pull on that shit. Where's the ice clamper? Am I supposed to use my hands?
You ain't see it right there?
Oh, girl, it's all on the table.
Girl, you put worse things in your mouth, honey.
Girl, calls me clean when I do that. Have I talked to her before on your FaceTime?
No,
not that. It wasn't her?
Probably so. I don't know. Girl, you been around.
I thought we called her one day to verify that you were a punk or something.
No, that wasn't her.
Not to verify.
She was the first girl who knew I was gay, though.
Anybody who didn't know is a fool.
She was the first person I could
She nodded her head.
I've been knowing her since the first grade.
So then she knew you were a punk since the first day of the first grade.
Actually, she was my girlfriend.
Oh, so she was a fool for a little bit. She was a motherfucking fool for a little bit then. Okay, so she had me thinking she was, you know, astute.
I was in the first grade.
Okay, you get a pass because you were in the first grade. There's some grown ass women right now that's married to some punks. Bitch! Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I got a lot of shit up in me because I ain't went live in over a week.
Yes, ma'am. Pass me some of that 1800.
You wanted some of this?
No, she wants some of that
this one. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Yeah, we're in a recession.
We're in a recession.
We ain't got much tequila in here.
Craig come drink all my liquor. Here, sister, here you go.
He got one cold. Did you give her a glass? Oh,
she got one, girl.
You got one cold in the hookah. Times is hard, not hard.
Well, girl, you keep calling out. Every time you keep calling out. Every time you call out, that deduct from my pay too. I'm sick of you calling out. Now,
I already had to cancel the Houston show. Now, what happened to the venues here in Atlanta? Because we're gonna go ahead and find.
Well, you were supposed to be working with Kimberly Dooley, didn't you?
No, you told me you were gonna find 2 venues and you're gonna tell me off the camera. Hit the like and the subscribe, please, people, and hit the little bell so you know when we go live.
Come on, girl, because I'm ready to step.
Well, what's your lips and your straw got to do with me making my drink?
Well, we got the toast.
Oh, you want a toast tonight? What you want to drink? What's yours? The peach.
You want a little Sprite?
I don't know what she whispering for, like they can't hear her.
Girl, the mic right there.
Right, she's standing. No, you are part of production. You can be our assistant for tonight.
Look, somebody said, "Oh, y'all got a show running tonight."
Right.
We do, honey. We got a show running tonight, honey. Her name is Kara.
Come on.
Cheers, bitch. Ooh, girl, because we done had a long 2 weeks, girl.
2 weeks. Oh yeah. Ooh, we got some conversation. She done took all of the juice over there to her little area.
Girl, he got shot to her. Oh, honey. Woo! That was good. Girl, let me fix this.
I ain't seen no cash app come through. They just want us to work for free, I see.
Girl, I got my phone on vibrate because you know you're the nosy.
Well, let me find out you got something. I ain't got nothing. I'm clocking out.
Well, girl, you ride on electricity all day, so girl, you charge your car up. I'm pretty sure, and you better not plug it up to my motherfucking
Well, you ain't got no motherfucking outlet outside.
I do got an outlet, bitch.
You the only house I go to. They ain't got no outlet on the porch. Yes,
it's women like you who run up bitches electricity.
Bitch, I be plugged up over here every chance I get.
Yes,
but you know what? I was thinking today when I was driving over here. I've been on that same gas for 3 weeks. Now, granted, I was gone for a week.
You better drive it out because you know the gas will get bad. They'll make your shit be sputting.
It ain't that long. That's when you use that cheap ass Circle K gas that you be putting.
No, girl, I use Chevron, honey. You the one who go over
Chevron with Techron?
Yes, ma'am. You the one who go over there to the Sam's where they got that watered down gas.
Listen, I use Sam's and I use Costco.
Girl, that watered down gas, like I said.
And when the cash apps come in nicely, then I use a little Chevron.
Well, girl, I don't care if let me tell you something, honey. I don't care if I have $5 left to my name, honey. Guess where she going? I'm gonna use credit where they just take the dollar and then I catch it by the end of the week.
Baby, you know that used to be my hustle.
Girl, okay.
Let me tell you something. If you're going through a little something and you need a little gas in your car and you ain't got no money, all you need is about $1 or $2 in your account. And you go swipe because this is gonna verify like $1. Go ahead and get you $80 worth of gas.
Okay.
And figure that shit out later.
Those you catch it within 72 hours, honey, you got you a full tank of gas.
And even if you don't catch it, fuck them. If your account is overdrawn, go open up another account at a different bank. Fuck that bank.
Fuck that bank. Mm-hmm. Girl, all I gotta do is just pay the little extra $20 or $15 or whatever they're gonna do.
No, it's more than that. Them overdraft fees be like $36. I remember one month I had 18. It was in October.
Oh, girl.
It was in October. We're in October now, but this was in October. I remember 1 year in October, I had 18 overdraft fees. Yes, we are going to
taking calls tonight. Yes, ma'am. I had told Miss
Tony Mack, so make sure you come on in here. Drop the link down there.
Yes, you know, I be having to keep this queen together because, you know, she'll be knowing. She called me, asking me for clues and stuff.
Did you upload the things that we talking about tonight? Because I didn't see it in there.
Yes, I uploaded the two. It wasn't a video. You sent me 2 pictures.
Right.
Right, I was sitting there trying to convert the damn video, kept going to JPEG.
She's still.
Oh, but the video that I
sent her a screenshot of a
woman,
right? And then she thinks that A video.
Girl, because we said this was new, I want the people to see that. But the video that I wanted us to talk about from last week, it's still processing. It won't convert over.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that video about?
With the lady and the man, with their transgender. But she said, I always had your back. That was deep. It was real deep.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it. We're gonna play it for the people tonight. But
thank you, Wayne Mills, for that $20. I hope that's in my account.
Auntie, I am so happy to see you tonight. Girl, you know, when you go missing, honey, you know, I'm your only child, girl. You just treat me so bad.
Well, what you mean?
You just treat me so bad, girl.
You knew I was going out of town.
You cussed me out throughout the day.
No, you thought I cussed you out today.
Oh, no, because you nasty. You real nasty.
I can be nasty, but I wasn't being
no.
nasty.
So I'm going to read this to the people, and I bet you they read it in the voice that I bet you they read it in the voice.
They ain't going to read it. You read it.
No,
they're going to hear
no,
you
they
say
don't hear me say it, and I bet you say. So I had called Craig earlier, right?
He tried to FaceTime me.
And then he sent me to the, unavailable.
Because I was at Paid For Your Say. If you
So
were on my live
then-
earlier today, you know I went to do my Paid For Your Say today.
So then I was trying to be messy, and I sent him a picture. So he gonna send me back what with the no. He sent me back what with 4 exclamation marks, and then he gonna say I'm in a study, right? So how I took that as was
I had
he
nothing to do
was
with how you
how I interpreted it was he was like what girl, like what girl, I'm in a study, like bitch, leave me alone, because that's how you always do me.
No.
But
That
that's
ain't how
how
I did
you
it,
always do me.
I said what, and I put like 3 question marks, like, because he had sent me we gonna talk. Bring it up. Oh, I got the mouse. Let me.
Oh, girl,
I knew you didn't add it because I didn't see it down here. Get our conversation piece up here.
Girl, run the commercial. Now you can run the commercial, bitch.
All right, so listen. Let us run this commercial while we get this. While we do his job.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say YouTube TV. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So Much to Say YouTube TV is the place that you come to learn and grow, because we discuss socially relevant things mixed with a splash of humor. If you know you have tissue paper feelings, this probably isn't the channel for you. But and however, since you're here, I just need for you to do 2 things. Hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and turn on that little bell so that you get the notification every single time that I go live or upload something new. I'll see you soon. Bye.
I got to do.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, we back.
I had to do her job because she, But anyway,
Girl, turn it off.
Oh.
Hear echo. Girl, so we're gonna talk about Miss Cynthia Bailey, honey, tonight. Cause, honey,
we ain't gonna talk too much about her because she and I just got back on good terms. She thought I had stole her sister's bracelets and stuff, but she understands now that didn't really happen. So we're on good terms, and she follows me now on Instagram again, and I follow her again. I said, "Cause girl, I ain't following you until you follow me." So she said, "Okay, I'm gonna follow you right now."
but let me do this. Let me tap you on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Honey. That's your friend, and I'm gonna ring her ass up tonight.
I wouldn't say she's my friend.
Well, that's your associate, and her little sister. Y'all always be together, going down there to her wine, paint, whatever she be going down there.
Quiet as it's kept, as loud as I'm gonna say it. They about to close that down.
Girl, she and Flo told you. That's what they said. But anyways, speaking of Miss Cynthia Bailey and Mr. Mike Hill, honey, Cynthia is getting another divorce after 2 years.
Girl, you are so messy. You should not be relishing in this woman's sadness and
I want them
pain.
to see me take.
You should not be relishing in this woman. Yes.
She getting another divorce after 2 years. So let me tell you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it takes 2 years for you to really know the fabric of your
And
relationship.
that is true. But let me tell you something.
So all you children moving in under 2 years and getting married in under 2 years, you better wait 48 20 what is it?
48 months. You better wait 48 months before you go down there.
You better wait at least 24 months before you walking down the aisle, because where there's gay marriage, there's also gay divorce.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But speaking of gay, honey, I thought he was too. I thought he was a part of the community.
Oh my God. You know what? Here, friend, you want to come sit over here with him? Because I got to go.
No, girl, you said we was going to talk about it tonight.
Now, I ain't said that man was part of the community now.
I said I thought he was a part of the community. And for those who gonna screen record, they can send it on over there too. Because your face on here with me.
Now look at Lenny and his messy ass. Well, I ain't seen no court filings yet. But girl, they ain't found it yet.
Well, if you look at her Instagram, girl, she all quiet as kept. But anyway, so she made it seem like Peter was the problem.
Well, here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you.
Look that way, girl. Girl, what?
Well, here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you.
Girl, what they said?
She was about to sell her house because her sister Mallory is living in Lake Bailey, was renting. But I think now, since this divorce might be happening,
she gonna get trying to move back in.
She probably gonna take the house off the market. She'll probably be moving back cross country
in Bailey, Lake Bailey.
But y'all didn't hear that.
Y'all didn't hear that from us. Now, girl. So she tried to make it seem like Peter was the problem, but it ain't Peter, honey. It's her. She had one nigga this year. Then she left that one. Then she got with Peter. Then she left Peter. Then she jumped in his with Mr. Mike Hill. And then now, girl, he leaving her too.
I got to go home. So
it's either one, she don't cook or clean, or her pussy ain't good, or something. Oh my. Something is happening over there down there at the Lake Bailey. Now I ain't the type to gossip, but I'm gonna have to call Andy and call Nene and I'm gonna call Phaedra, and we're gonna see what's going on down there over there by that lake. Cause something ain't going right over there. And I know Kenya having a field day.
I guess she'll be trying to get her job back over there at the Housewives.
Cause she needs a storyline now.
Well, she got one now.
She'll need something to add on to it.
Y'all know my friend DT used to work for her, Terrence. And I used to tell him when he used to live here, I'd be like, she ain't got no storyline. They need to take her off the show. He would get so mad with me when I would say that. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. I said, I know you work for her, and that's your source of income, but she ain't got no storyline.
They was getting tired of climbing to the top of Stone Mountain. Once they got to the top, they seen there wasn't no air. They had to come back down. But I ain't gonna do too much on your friend.
You shouldn't be relishing in that lady's pain, though. Justin and his messy Alabama ass gonna say she still won't have a storyline.
She won't. But we ain't the type to gossip. Go ahead and drop the link down here so some of these people come on here and talk with us.
Justin, let me just say this to you. When I finally meet you in person, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you just because of these comments. Oh my God. But at any rate,
the people is picking up what I'm putting down, honey. They feel exactly how I feel. And speaking of tall women, and I'm on the roll tonight, I want to bring up Miss Ryan.
Now, if you are not already a member of my Facebook group, it's right up here. How I get my hand right? See right it up here? So Much to Say Podcast Pen Pal group. You can find it on Facebook.
Call Miss Ryan on the line, please. Let's call Miss Ryan.
Let me see if he pick up, because he got him a man.
Oh, he got a man now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute now.
I want to, Miss Ryan, please answer the phone, please.
He with his man.
She got her legs to the moon tonight.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Miss Ryan.
Ryan, we on the live. This girl trying to talk about you at the gay pride.
No. Miss Ryan, girl, you had got you some TV time. I see you on the news.
I was on the news. They asked me a couple of questions, and that was it.
So how did they end up selecting you out of all of those gays that had descended on Atlanta by plane, train, automobile, and parachute?
Well, sometimes when you see red and black flag, let's go talk to him. That was like, how it happened.
Was you swishing like you be doing on Sunday Fun Day?
No, I didn't have my man bun like you normally do.
Speaking of man bun, I have one in right now.
But like I have like all my real hair.
Oh, this is my real hair, honey. Oh, Miss Wright, you is shady tonight. I was on your side because they was reading you, honey.
I saw your comment. That was not on my side. Okay?
Right. He saw your comment, you shady queen.
I just said, look at Miss Ryan.
Ryan.
That's a ma'am.
Excuse me.
Learn your pronouns.
Are we going to the gym tomorrow?
We
Because you've been slacking.
Can you just get back in town?
I'm just saying before I went out of town.
Craig told everybody you got you a man, honey. Now
They know. They follow the Patreon in our lives in the car.
I mean, Craig goes, I do have a job.
You know,
Really like some people.
yeah, everybody can't do what he do, honey. You know, we just can't sit up all day and talk and you know, we just got income coming in. We have to go to a 9 to 5. I keep telling him that.
Right, he don't get it. He don't get it.
Yeah. Well, all right. We know it's after 9 o'clock, and we know you may be with your man. So you have a great night, okay?
Bye, yeah.
All right. You have a great one.
Tell Darian I say hi.
Oh, he's not gonna tell them. Girl, how your week been, Craig? Because you got on here going 150.
Well, you know, because I've been kind of feeling a little backed up. Because you know, when I don't do a live, I be missing my people and I be needing to talk.
Well, you sure enough got a lot to say tonight.
Yeah, I did a live earlier today.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Because I was missing my people. I didn't talk to my people.
Mm.
You know, it's easier when I'm moving and traveling like that. It's easier to do Patreon. Because, you know, the internet connection be, you know, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is I forgot to take my phone holder for the windshield in the car. And so I forgot to take it. So that was another reason.
Okay.
I didn't do a live. But we wanted to talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, so today is National Coming Out Day.
And it was Pride weekend in Atlanta this past weekend.
Right. I ain't do no gay activities this weekend.
This white pride. Because the black gays coming later.
Girl, the black people had to took over the white pride this year.
So really? Now the black pride is Labor Day weekend,
MLK,
Girl, 4th of July.
No, it's just MLK and Labor Day. But let me tell you something.
And they come 4th of July.
Martin Luther King marched for them. Martin Luther King.
I thought you said Martin Luther the King.
No, I said Martin Luther King. He marched
She
in
talked like she got marbles in her mouth.
I can't help my mouth is wet for it. But Martin,
don't be soliciting our gay followers and viewers, okay?
Martin did all that marching.
It is not becoming if you're trying to suck these people's dick. Okay?
Somebody said I said Martha Luther King. Oh, girl.
Josh, she didn't clock. Girl, these big ass fingers.
Somebody said I said Martha Luther King. I said Martin.
You did say Martha Luther the King.
Well, he went marching all for these gays to go down there on Pride.
Martin Luther King didn't march for that.
I'm saying he did all that.
Is that what they teach you down there in Florida? That Florida school system?
Girl, he did all that work for us in the community to come down here.
Us who punks? Is that what you about
in
to
the
say?
community to get down here to be shaking ass for his day? Because
it don't make no sense when y'all fly to Atlanta.
Girl, they fly down here, girl. You haven't kicked over an ant pile to see ants just scatter. That's how the gays come here.
Baby, January come, the gays come here by planes, train, Uber, parachute.
Girl, the mega bus, the Greyhound
the boat bus,
the Spirit
Airline,
Frontier. They can't afford Delta. So
no, because they got to use their money to buy enemas and Airbnbs and hotels.
Girl, because
they got to pay $75 to get in the club.
Martin Luther King, MLK weekend. Baby, let me tell you, it ain't no flicks on the shelf. I'm talking about this. The shelf be empty, honey. I'm talking about empty.
When you start stocking up on yours?
Girl, ain't nobody talking to you.
When you start stocking up on yours?
I say stop that. Well, you stay ready, you got to get ready, honey. Okay? Girl, so I stay ready, so I don't go during the time they come.
And you didn't know he was a punk in first grade? Is that what you want me to believe?
So that's first grade.
That's what you want me to believe?
So let me tell you this. So I told him about the story when I was trying to suck that boy thing.
Do you know who he's talking about?
At 14.
When he was 14.
And girl, he told everybody on the Facebook and the YouTube. He just put all my business out there.
Well,
Did you know about? Did she know him?
She knew all my secrets.
that boy still alive?
Oh, she said, "Is he still alive?"
Hey, there's a lot of our peers that are not.
She ain't trying to say.
No, I'm saying it's a lot that go on.
Oh,
He may not even be here no more. So
No, he's still
you
here.
don't have
He's
to worry
still-
about him coming across the video.
he here because he didn't look him up on Facebook to
Oh,
see
God.
if he's cute now. But he said the man don't look like nothing now. He done had a rough life.
He had
doubt
sister. He had a rough 20s because you know he was older than us.
I don't
He,
doubt
girl, his 20s is rough, honey.
My God, today.
Now, sister, we on production. I know you're on FaceTime with your friend.
She ain't on FaceTime.
She is on FaceTime.
Oh, you got an earpiece in?
So you gotta put your earpiece in because these people hear everything.
Oh, that's for my child.
Oh,
You got an earphone on?
Huh?
You got an earphone on?
Uh-uh.
Well, how you hear him?
I'm just, he's a kid.
Oh. I was gonna say, because I don't hear nobody talking.
Them my nephews. She talking to.
Well, you sure ain't never mentioned them.
I do mention
Okay, your nephew.
I do mention all my
You a deadbeat auntie?
You know what, girl? Let's go with our coming out story. Even though I know you've been gay all your life. and
No,
you never had-
go ahead. What's your
you-
coming out story
you never
since
had
it's
to come
coming
out.
out since it's national coming out? Day?
Everybody know my story. We want to talk about your story.
Did that the one when you tried to suck the man's dick? That ain't your coming out story.
No, that's not my coming out.
That
story.
was the precursor to your story.
That was the trailer.
Right.
That was the trailer.
That was the preamble. Okay, go ahead.
They laughing how I'm talking about sister. Let me see sister come on the camera, niece. Sister, come pop over here real quick. Just a,
She don't want to be bothered. She don't want to be bothered. She said, mm-mm.
she have a little more drink. She'll come say hello.
She fixing her lashes.
So my coming out story was, and I know for those who are new watching the channel, because a lot of people know about my coming out story.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do, Craig. We didn't talk about it.
What is it?
So my coming out story was back in 2016 when I came out. I had started.
2016?
That's when I came out.
That was only 6 years ago.
I came out 6 years ago.
Girl, you done a lot of catching up. And those 6 bitch, I just knew you were a punk since 2010 at least. 2016?
That's when I came out.
You've only been a fag for six years?
Yes, ma'am, honey. And girl, I told you.
You gotta hear Carlton say that. wait. Let me say this real quick. We were driving around in Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was showing me this Boys and Girls Club where his father signed him up. And then across from there was like a basketball court. He said, remember the place? He said, remember I told you my dad signed me up one summer for basketball?
Mm.
He said he came home and said, I signed you up for basketball. You start tomorrow, right? He said, I was so mad. He said, I wanted to be like, Dad, I'm a fag. When I tell you I screamed, you gotta hear him say it. He be like, I'm a fag. I don't want to play no basketball.
But you know, I played football and everything, Craig. I played football, I ran
So
track.
just so you know that there are gays in the NFL and the NBA.
Girl, I slid in one of them DM, girl. I'm waiting for them to reply back.
You slid in somebody's DM.
Girl, I'm waiting for
One of the football players.
and basketball, girl. When he replied back, y'all don't say anything to me, honey, because I'm gonna be rich.
Baby, he done rolled them 6 years hard.
No, Craig, what happened was
You are so seasoned.
I'm seasoned to be 6 years in the game.
Girl, you so seasoned. You got so much experience.
Well, I said this when I came out.
Oh, because you had already been fucking around. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, what you say?
Because there is a distinction.
What you say? Communication
is a partner, and clarity is our friend. That is true. So you had already been functioning in the community, but you didn't start telling people until 6 years ago.
Yes. Okay. All right. So my coming out story was I had started messing and talking to this guy.
Messing
around.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Touching and agreeing.
So there was no fucking?
Well, that's what we're doing.
No, messing is just licking and what taste.
Well, we was, doing a do and everything like that.
Was he the first one to pop your cherry?
No, man.
Oh, somebody had already popped your cherry.
It was popped already by then, girl. It was long pop.
Girl, who was the first one to pop your cherry?
Girl, I ain't gonna tell you all that.
Okay, go ahead. Is he still alive?
He's still alive that I know of.
He only tapped it once.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
He used to tap it all the time.
Go ahead.
So my coming out story is that I actually was messing with this guy. We had been in a relationship and everything. We had already took family pictures. We had already adopted a little boy. Everything. This is before. Girl, I had no. Girl, what you say?
I ain't never heard all of this.
Girl, yes, it was. I said the same
Icona
thing.
has always been booking hair.
So, I had already took family pictures and everything in. So one day I drove down to my mom's hometown, and I took her out to eat and everything like that.
Where were you living when this was happening?
I was staying in Georgia. I was staying in Atlanta. Girl, they've been watching it. You heard this story plenty of times.
I ain't never heard this.
Yes, you have, Craig. You know them people.
Oh, you talking about the little kid that y'all adopted?
Yeah, this the same story.
Oh,
Girl, they need. I'm glad they moved them over shit from the back to the front because it had fucked up your thought process.
go ahead.
So I went down to my mom and I wound up taking her out to dinner, and we had a
To
long.
tell her you were a fag.
Well, I ain't telling them. So I made sure we had a couple of drinks. We had a good time. We had ate good.
Trying to butter her up.
We just had a good time. So on the way home, I had already had the pictures in my and actually I had a video when I told my dad. So I actually when we was on the way home, on the way back to my parents' house,
You and the boy.
no, me and my mom. It was just me and her. So he knew I was coming down here to tell her what was going on. I had to fill her in. So we were on the way back to the house, and I was like, Mom, I got something. I just got something to tell you. So I reached in the back of the seat, and I had pulled out the pictures or whatever. And
That is not how you come out to anybody. Let me explain to you gays that haven't come out yet. You don't ambush your mother or your grandmother or whoever it is that raised you that you're trying to come out to. You don't go and adopt somebody with some man and then come and tell them, oh, by the way, I'm gay, and here's your grandson.
No. So I had told her, I had grabbed the pictures and everything. I had it, or whatever.
That's too much to be unloading.
Well, girl, you know Jackie, honey. So I had to give it to a real raw and uncut real quick. So I had reached in the back, I had the pictures with him. I told her, I said, I just want to let you know that before you open everything, I have been seeing this guy. X1Z, so I broke everything down to her, right? And the first thing she said was,
where were y'all when she said this?
We were driving.
Y'all were in the car.
Yeah.
She was driving or you?
I was driving.
Another cautionary tale. That was dangerous.
She said, bitch, I already knew.
Mama wasn't no fool.
She said, I already knew. So I had told
She
her.
knew you were punk, or she knew you were with this man?
No, she knew I was a punk.
Okay.
So I actually once I told her to open the things, and she was just like, oh my God, she was just asking me more questions. We was talking as we was driving, etc. So I told her, I said, I want to tell Dad. Let me be the one to tell Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So by the time this is a short version because some of them already know. So by the time we got to the house or whatever, she walked in the house. I said, Mama, let me tell Dad. I had already told Dad in the car. So she walked in the house. Honey, your son got something to tell you. I said, this motherfucking.
They probably already had conversations about it.
Yeah, because one day I never forget. You remember that song? It was by Sierra, Nelly. It was a whole bunch of them. Stepped on My J's. It was an old song. So in that song, Sierra she say, I make it jump, man, right? So one day I was in the mirror. I ain't see my daddy head coming by. So when she had said it, I was in the mirror like this. And when she had said it, I had made my booty jump. And my dad had walked by. And my dad said, oh, what you doing? Making it jump, man? And I was so embarrassed. I was just like, I just looked at my dad. But anyways, moving forward, so we got in the house. So we went there. My mom had the envelope with the pictures or whatever, and she had slid them to me. So I went there. So I was like, me and my dad was talking, and we were just going. I was like, so Dad, I just want to let you know that you're about to be a grandfather.
Yeah, girl, you know what?
That's how I came to. So then I said, no, Daddy, no, I really do have something to tell you, whatever, because he was getting too excited. So I was like, no, Dad, I really do have something to tell you, whatever. So I took the pictures and I gave him the folder. So once I gave him the folder, I said, I want you to open it. So he went in there and opened it, and he pulled it out. I wish I could have put this on here. Cause I'm gonna pull the video up. I still got the video to this day. I actually started crying because my dad's reaction was just, I thought he was gonna cuss me out. I thought he was gonna, just own me, etc. But he really did. Craig got to have a drink, Craig. So let me go back to 2016 in my phone. So here you go. So here's the video right here, Craig. Look. So that's my mom. That's my dad.
I gather who's who. Okay.
So he had to put the pictures down. So I think he was trying to play it off, like,
Who was crying? You?
me. I had started crying because after that I started crying because I was just like, oh my God, I don't know if my dad can just cuss me out, if he finna just go. So but he wound up telling me just like, son, I really do love you, X, Y, and Z. And he just started talking to me or whatever. And now he's my biggest supporter, child. He go around telling everybody, oh, my son is gay, he is successful, he did this, he did that. I said, Dad, I'm gonna go around telling people that. Please, don't do that. But my dad is very proud of me. He is. Now, Craig, on the other hand, Craig never came out. He's a golden guy. He never tapped in the lady pump.
My coming out story is in words never spoken. You can purchase the book at CraigTheWriterStore.com or on Audible or Amazon or any e-reader.
No, that was a short version. I didn't want to go all into it. But Craig, I have told you this story before, and I'm telling you live.
No, I ain't never heard that. You just showed up to them people's house talking about you about to be a grandfather. That ain't how you come out to somebody.
Well, girl, I was scared, bitch. That's the best way I knew how to do it in 2016, honey. I came out at 21.
You young gays have too many resources to still be scared.
Well, back then I didn't have all that.
So when did they meet? No, you had the internet in 2016. That was 6 years ago.
They met actually a month after.
So they asking, where is the son? They didn't ask it 19 times.
He's with Mike.
You got joint custody?
Girl, with child support.
Or were you an unfit mother, so you don't have no rights?
Girl, I wasn't an unfit mother.
Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But they wound up meeting actually a month later. And they actually really bonded. Like they really built the bond with this guy. And this is the guy who wound up proposing to me. So my mom and dad already knew.
You turned him down?
No, I actually said yes.
So
but
where's the ring?
the engagement was called off.
Oh, he called it off or you called it off?
I actually called it off.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually called it off. And yeah, it was girl, that's like the sixth one.
That's the first one I saw.
Oh, that's like the sixth one. So yeah, but they actually built the bond, and that was the guy that my mom really wanted me to be with. I will say that. But life happens.
Really? Have you talked to him recently?
Actually, I just ran into him over the weekend for the first time in months.
Really?
We had no communication. It was just very much so. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you, and kept moving.
Where did y'all run into each other? At a gas station or something? At a pump bar?
The pump bar.
Y'all follow each other on social media?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've dropped the link down here. Y'all can join and ask questions or tell your coming out story. I done dropped it about 5 times.
Craig, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm getting my questions together now.
Right now, this ain't Keon's interview, okay?
Yeah, because you ain't never interviewed me, so I guess I.
But brother, people ain't got uninterested. They didn't want to talk to you no more. They didn't want to see it no more.
So Tiffany said do you think your coming out story overshadowed you telling your parents they were grandparents?
No. So I think the way that I did it for me, I think that it was the best that I could did it at that time. Because everything was still new for me. One. When I say new for me, I mean just coming out to several parents. Because one thing that even though my parents was open and they were always the parents that you can always come and talk to, I still was a little bit scared to tell them, hey, your son's sleeping with me. You know what I'm saying? So once I seen that they were cool with it, I didn't just throw everything out on them. Eased it in.
You eased in on them.
Yeah, I eased in on them. But I will say that I am very grateful that I had supportive parents that was saying, and I do know that my mom had her time where she probably broke down and cried, and
You think she did?
Yeah, she did, because I know we talked about it, and she was just saying, I always knew, but the confirmation,
Yeah, that's always.
And what she said was that you will always be my child. You know what I'm saying? And I think she was more hurt because, and my dad was too, because I held it from them for so long. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you guys used to watch Being Mary Jane, but that was one of my favorite shows. And when it was on, there was a season where Gabrielle Union and her co-worker, who was a male newscaster, he would use her as his beard.
I should call my dad.
And his parents were coming to visit. And so he brought Gabrielle over so they could pretend that they were a couple. And the parents finally, my girl S. Apatha Murkison, when I say that's a bad woman, that actress, she and her husband, who played her husband, said, "What is this? What are you doing?
I'm gonna call my dad.
We already know who you are. Like, what hurts us is that you didn't think that you could trust us enough to tell us. Like, based on the relationship that we've had, you should have known that you could talk to us about anything. That's what hurts us more. We don't care who you fucking. We don't care who you fucking. But they're asking, how old is the little boy? Do you still have a relationship with him? And would you get back with the boy?"
Hey, what's up, Daddy? You sleep? I got a quick question, okay? I want you to answer real quick. So when I came out to you and Mom, how did you feel as your son coming to you telling you that?
I felt like it. I felt like your father. I felt like, all right, that's what you said. I like ever since you was a child.
Straight Miami.
That's your decision.
Ask him, was he crying?
Was you hurt when I gave it, like told you the truth? Like, how did it make you feel? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been partying long time. I've been partying a long time. I kind of sort of sensed it a little bit. I kind of sensed it, but you carried yourself. You carried yourself right. You carried yourself right. And how many years do you think that was?
It was 6 years, so I'm actually talking about it right now. So it was 6 years ago. I was telling, because I'm actually on live. So I was, so today is National Coming Out Day, and we're actually talking about it on live or whatever. So that's what I was just calling. I said, well, let me call my dad real quick, because I was telling everybody the story. So I said, let me call my dad real quick and let me just ask him the question and see how he felt.
Well, I've always been proud of your son and everything you done. You done well. Coming up in the house, going to school, get a lot of joy.
Mm.
You have a brother and
Oh.
your sister, and
Okay.
you carried yourself well. You know, I mean, you was popular before you even knew you were popular.
Yeah. Well, all right, Daddy. I don't want to cut you short. I just wanted to ask you that question real quick, and so I can get back to the show. So I'll call you later. All right, bro.
Girl, land the plane, girl. All this ancillary conversation, girl.
Well, girl,
I didn't know why you called him in the first place.
Because I want to see.
Girl, we ain't need that tidbit. You already told us what the fuck he thought and felt. Girl, we didn't hear from the horse. Anyway, girl, I almost fell asleep. Like he was.
He was asleep, girl. I feel bad.
I don't know why people be acting like
was
they wasn't asleep. No, you were asleep. I called my mother. You can hear this. Oh, wipe her. Girl, were you asleep? No, I wasn't asleep. Girl, yeah, you were. You were in REM, rapid eye movement. But at any rate, would you get back with the man?
So the
And how old is the little boy?
So my son is 8, and no, I wouldn't get back with my ex.
Now, when the last time you?
A long time ago. long. You was going to ask me.
No, I was gonna say when the last time you talked to the son or saw the son or.
It's been a couple of months. I'm not going to get into that. But it's been a couple of months.
Well, they asking.
Girl. Next guy. What can you say? Next guys.
Girl, so are you paying alimony or child support?
No, ma'am.
I do think about doing my podcast again, but I would probably.
Bitch, you had me on your podcast too, remember?
Mm-hmm. You and
That man.
Yeah, about divorcees. Well, you were about to get married. He was a divorcee.
Girl, that kind of.
That was when I first met you. That was early on.
That was not when you first met me, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do her. I mean him like that.
But yeah. So, are there any other questions? Let me see what else is going on.
I don't know, girl. The camera's on you now.
Oh, well, what you want to ask? Keon, are you legal? No, they weren't married, so they ain't no legally separated. They just broke up. He went his way, and Keon. Y'all lived together though, didn't y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That's when you lived in Stone Mountain.
Latonia.
Mm-hmm. So when I first met Keon, he was living out there in Latonia.
Yep. Damn, bitch, you've been my friend for a long time, girl.
Girl, the struggles.
Girl, the ups, the. There you go. Bitch.
I don't know what's going on with this computer.
It wasn't the computer, bitch. It was StreamYard. This is a good computer.
I don't know what's going on over here.
I ain't on the gateway.
Excuse me. What computer is that? That is the gateway.
No, it's not the gateway, bitch.
Well, what is that?
The gateway is gray.
Well, what kind of computer is this?
That's the computer that you said that I had borrowed.
What brand is it?
Brown? No, my brother got it. Hey, Jim. Hello. Oh, he knows that girl. You a nasty bitch. You just nasty.
My line suspended. Where is it? Right here.
Kite voice.
Right.
So, Craig, tell us about your coming out story. Girl, because you have one. You was there.
I already told my coming out story.
Well, for the people who know, just like I had to retell mine. And girl, please don't elaborate on it. Just hit.
Well, I don't know how to do that. Okay. My coming out story is in my first book. Is this dead?
I don't know. Oh, you showing up. Girl, you should out, man. Oh, it's Kim Dooley's birthday? Did you tell Kim happy birthday?
I sent her a text. I did.
Oh, happy birthday, Kim.
Let me try to check me.
I'm just making sure. You know.
Read the book, niece.
You know.
Let me see. What is that comment down there say?
Which one?
Craig must give all this insignificant. Right. I got to give all the minute details.
Oh,
that's
girl.
minute. That's not minute. That's minute. Because I know Keon probably read this as Craig must give all the insignificant and minute details.
Girl, what you waiting for to do is sit up here and talk about me like this.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So briefly, I was working at Hewlett Packard up in Kennesaw, and I was dating this guy. I felt like I was in love at the time. And I called her from work because I knew that if the conversation took a left turn, a nasty left turn, I could get off the phone and be like, girl, I'm at work. I got to talk to you later. So I went on and told her at work, and she did that fake phony laugh that I do that you all love. She's like, oh, it's okay. Because my coworkers came in over my shoulder and were like, how's your mom? Is she okay? Like I was on the phone because they knew I was going to tell her. And they were like, and she said, oh, no, I'm fine. And I said, oh, yeah, that girl ain't fine. She ain't fine. So about 2 weeks went by. And at that time, it was the first year that I moved to Atlanta. So she used to call me every single day. We used to talk every day. And when this happened, I didn't speak to her for like 2 weeks. And so I knew something was strange. I knew something was off. She was adjusting, right? And so when I finally called her, I was like, girl, what's going on? So she said, well, this just ain't sitting with me as well as I thought. And she basically told me she didn't want to meet none of you punks. Because she was coming down for Thanksgiving. That was the first year that I lived here. So she was coming down for Thanksgiving. And she was like, I don't want to meet any of those people. And she was like, and don't try to surprise me because you won't like it. And when I tell you, it was kind of rough in the beginning. And what ended up happening was she came down for Thanksgiving. She said we were going to talk about it when she came. We never did talk about it. And then she ended up going back home, and I called her and was like, hey, we never talked about it when you came down here. Because I'm a person that believes that you have to confront things.
Yes.
Instead of just assuming that it's just going to take care of itself.
Right.
So I wanted to approach it. I wanted to broach the subject. And I said, well, listen, we never talked about it when you came down here. And she was just like, well, I didn't want to talk about it in front of Ty. That's my nephew. Because he came down with her as well. And
that's his nephew, I know.
Yeah. She said, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it in front of him. But I knew that was for her. That wasn't for me.
Right.
And so I was like, well, it didn't matter to me. So anyway, we ended up talking about it. And she ended up telling me that her biggest concern was me becoming HIV positive. That was her biggest fear of me being gay. And she said because in her experience, all of the gay people that she knew became positive or they died from AIDS. And so, no, this is my time. You had your time.
Oh, girl, let me share my face.
She's trying to cut in on my motherfucker.
Well, girl, you cut in and cut all through my story, honey. So I was cut up by the time you.
Well, girl, because your story was kind of laboring on.
No, it wasn't.
It was, and the people were like, "Oh, girl, wrap this up." Girl, you didn't see those comments. The people were ready for you to get off. But they asked me to hang up. They wanted me to reach over and press the disconnect. So anyway, so she was like, that's my fear. And so I asked her, I said, well, have you cried since I told you that I was gay? And she was like, no. I said, so what have you been thinking and feeling? She said, well, I just pray about it every night. I just, just pray that it would just go away. And I said, well, and this is when I said to her, I said, well, Ma, it's not going to go away. I said, I can pray every day starting tomorrow to wake up as a white person someday. I said, but that's never going to happen. Not because prayer doesn't work, but because we have to adjust to the life that God gave us. Mm-hmm. And I said that. I was 23. I was 23 when I said that to her. And I said, we have to adjust to the life that we were given. And, and I said, so that's just part of what it is. I said, I was hoping, wishing, and praying too for the first 22 years of my life. And I said, it didn't go away. I said, in fact, most of the gay people that I know had prayed for it to go away. I said, it doesn't change. And I said, what you just said a moment ago, I said, I believe you always knew. I said, because I believe your mother always knows if she's paying attention. I said, but it's the reality of it that's becoming difficult for you. I said, now that I've told you, I've confirmed it for you, you can no longer pretend not to know. Because some of her girlfriends, and co-workers would be like, oh my God, Craig is so this, that, and the third. Does he have a girlfriend, or why doesn't he have a girlfriend? And, and so she would ask me stuff like that. And, and so that was pretty much my coming out story. Now my story with my dad, it came out years later. In fact, I was living in LA. So this was like 2011 that I told my dad. I told my mother in 98. No, 99. Oh, girl, I was 5 years old. Girl, from the looks of you, look like you were 15. but it was years later that I told my dad. And and then years later, I told my dad. But I told my dad years later because, and an ex of mine used to say, well, why are you so afraid to tell your father? You done wrote plays about it, about being gay. You've been in articles and magazines and shit where people have written about my stage play, about being gay. And he's saying, you haven't had the conversation with your dad. Why are you afraid? And I had to really think about it. And I said, no, it wasn't. It's not that I was afraid to tell my father. What I realized I was doing, and I say this in my first book, Words Never Spoken, if you haven't read it, was I was punishing my dad because my dad and my relationship became strained once he remarried. No, my mother never told my dad because they were divorced, and so they never had the conversation. But I was punishing my dad because my dad had remarried, and I felt like my dad made her a priority. And if you read my first book, you know that whole story. I'm not going to go into all of that. But we had a very contentious relationship once my dad remarried. And so I was punishing him by cutting him out of a section of my life. So when I did my stage plays, I never invited him down. I was doing greeting card parties for Say It in the Card. I never invited him to any of that. I didn't include him in any of the great stuff that was happening in my life. And that included me coming out. I just felt like that wasn't his business. I just felt like he hadn't earned that from me. So that's why I didn't tell him. But once I had started healing that and realized that he did what he knew how to do at the time, and I ended up telling him. I ended up sharing it with him. And I started including him more. So those of you that are on Patreon, that's why you get to see my dad now, because I've forgiven him. Because there was a time I would have never included him. He would have never met Carlton. He met Carlton on Patreon when I was in Baltimore. We were in Baltimore. I would have never allowed him to meet any of that, see any of that. But that's how you know when you start to heal your trauma. And I can forgive him for how he treated me and how he allowed that ex-wife to treat me. But for me, it's about my own healing, right? For those of you that may be holding on to stuff that other people did to you or said to you, you got to let that shit go. It doesn't mean that you forget that it happened, but you have to release that shit so that you can move on for your own peace of mind, for your own healing. Right. And, I don't want to be angry and irritable about that. So I include him in stuff. So when I go home, I take him out to dinner when I take my mother, and I include him in all of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't cut him out of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's good. The only thing girl, you called your mom on the phone.
Yeah, because she was coming down for Thanksgiving, and I didn't want to wait until she got down here. The guy that I was dating at the time, he wanted to cook for Thanksgiving, and I said, "Oh no, you can't cook for Thanksgiving because my mother's coming down." And he was like, "Well, we could just be friends." I said, "Oh no, my mother ain't no fool.
Yeah,
she gonna know through body language, even if he and I never touched. When people are connected."
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to touch.
Yeah.
You can see it in the way that they look at each other, in the way that they communicate to. I said, "Oh, absolutely not." I said, "You can't."
You know what? I'm glad you said something. And I hear this often that I never did. I never want to pray it away. Pray.
You didn't.
No, I never had the thoughts of wanting to pray it away or not live who I truly was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that I hear a lot of my friends say that, and I there's some people who say they never prayed it away, or I know people to this day they be saying, if I can change who I am, I will change it, or whatever. But I think for me is that growing into this is who I am, this is who I've become. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that I want to pray something away because I couldn't picture my life not being who I am today. You get what I'm saying? Because I have lived the straight life, or I have put on this
charade.
I have put on this costume.
I'm gonna keep you honest.
No, girl. I said I have lived this straight life, and I put it in quotation.
It was basically Halloween 365 for you. You were pretending to be a straight boy.
Right. So I have lived that life. So actually, when I came out, it was more of a relief. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like the weight was lifted off my shoulders. So to go back into being closeted or going back to a person that I am not, I never want to pray that away because who I am today is who I want to be. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that's where the generation comes into the difference in generation. Your generation, your and Carlton's generation is that I believe is probably that first generation, because I came right before you. The generation before me, they were ultra closeted. Mine was starting to open up, and then your and Carlton's generation is that generation. And then the generation after y'all, you can forget it.
Girl, they
are out. They are unapologetic. But see, they're not as connected to religion as our generations were.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the black family, and the black community, and the black church are slightly different. So that's why you all are more out, and you see more gay parents taking their kids to school. There's more representation in television, film, commercials, whatever. So you all had that to kind of usher you in or out of the closet. Where
that's Gen Z that ain't playing, not millennials.
No, I'm a millennial.
No, I'm a millennial.
One of my Generation X.
Yeah, your ex, girl. I think you was baby boomers.
A bitch, I ain't no motherfucking baby boomer.
I think you're a baby boomer.
What is
your Generation X? I believe because I'm a millennial. I'm a millennial.
Yo, what bitch? Get your mouth together.
Millennial.
Generation X. Let me see. Yeah, I'm Generation X.
Yeah, girl.
So the question, Henry says, have you seen a change in your relationship with your dad? If so, what are those changes? Absolutely. Lee said, yeah, I'm Generation X. Bitch, I don't keep up with all that shit. Bitch, all I know is I'm 46. Okay.
Looking 66.
So the answer Henry's question, yeah, I definitely see the change in my relationship with my dad because, again, I used to keep him out. I barely invited him to my fucking college graduation. And I wasn't even out at that time, but he had already started to, in my opinion, ostracize me because he was married in the second marriage. So I just felt like I didn't want to be bothered with him. But I definitely see a difference. And I just told Carlton this the other day, too, when we were driving, coming back. I said to him, I'll never forget, once he and that woman divorced, I remember my dad calling me one day, and he was just in tears. I could barely understand what he was saying. He was crying. And he was basically saying to me that he was so lonely because he was now divorced. And this was before I had come out to him. So I was estranged. I wasn't really calling him that much and talking to him that much. And so then when that happened, when he called me and was all upset, that was when I started making a concerted effort to call him more, to spend time with him more. I think that may have been around the time when I started staying in his house.
Mhm.
When I would go home for visits. When I used to go home for visits, I would stay at my mother's house. But then once that phone call happened, I started staying in his house because I typically spend time with my mother when I go home because my dad is a homebody. My mother and I will go out to eat and do shit.
Yeah.
So I would stay at my dad's house, but then I knew I would see my mother because we'd hang out, go to the movies, go eat and shit like that. So I would spend time with him by staying with him. And I just made more of a concerted effort to call him and check on him and I would send him like little, say it in the card, I would send him like little encouragement cards in the mail and, shit like that, just to let him know I was thinking about him. And now that he knows how to text message, like I text him. So I just do my part.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the change.
And it have to be changed on both parts too. You know? Because we be so guarded, or we have our guard up, because of how our parents were taught, or how their thought process was back in the day. So you gotta think about it. It's new for you and it's new for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think now, thank God that it's more open and the path is more clear now for the generation younger than me, for my generation, and like you said, I think my generation kind of opened the gates to it a little bit, even though it was out there, don't get me wrong, but now it's more accepting now. You know what I'm saying? Like you see more people celebrating Pride, you see more people getting into the workplace, everything is more accepting now.
But I think a part of what allowed your generation and the generations behind you to be more free is because you all have younger parents too. There's something to be said about, because like my friends that I went to high school with, they were having kids at 16. There's something about having a younger parent that makes you a little bit more liberal. Right? So like I got friends who got kids that are 20 and 25. You know what I'm saying? Because they were having kids when I was in high school. There was a whole high school in Baltimore for teenage mothers. So I think that helps assist you guys in coming out too. Amber said, do you feel like you have to let people back in after you forgive them? No, I don't.
You don't. I don't.
That forgiveness is for you. That doesn't mean you have to give them a front row seat back in your life, right? I'm a big believer. Like I have people that I have forgiven for things, but I've still recategorized them in my life. Like you're still not a priority in my life. I know you. We may text from time to time. We may talk from time to time, but we're not hanging out. You're not coming over to my house. No, excuse me. But I'm not holding on to that
hurt.
Yeah, that forgiveness is personal. That's a very good way of putting it.
No, most definitely. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Like I said, where I'm at in life now, I don't have time to. It was a point in time where I would try to act more masculine, or put on a front in front of people. Now it's either you want to talk to me or you're not. I don't have time to be like, someone. And there was a time where people ask you, "Are you gay?" No, I'm not.
Oh, you would do that?
No, bitch. I'm gay. Yes.
Well, the way you twist around now, they ain't got to ask.
Well, it's still some people who don't know I'm gay.
Well, who was that?
Some people don't know I'm gay.
Like who?
No, I'm just saying, like, even to like one day at work, somebody asked me, we were having a conversation, and the guy was like, "Wait a minute, you gay?" And the female was, "Wait a minute, you're gay?"
What he dumb or something?
You know what, bitch? On
that note,
the way you prance around,
I don't do no prancing
with your broken hip.
I don't do no prancing.
Yes, you do, honey.
That's that pep in my step.
Nisha, you know you're not eye candy, right?
I'm not.
I'm
not eye candy.
Any fool. You look all right for your age. I'll say that.
Bitch, I look right for any age.
I ain't gonna do you like that. You
bitch,
right
at 20, 25. Now I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, I really started to blossom
Let me ask you this.
At about 28.
Have you ever just looked in the mirror and just said, "Bitch, you getting old"? Like,
No, I do not. No, I think y'all. Let me tell you gays something. Y'all need to stop worrying so much about getting older.
I'm not saying.
So if you don't want to get older, go ahead and die tonight. Go ahead and close your eyes tonight.
But I can't, only the Lord can.
Well, no, you can get some carbon monoxide, close all the doors, turn the furnace on, and close your eyes tonight permanently.
No, I ain't gonna do that, Craig. But what I'm saying,
y'all act like y'all so scared to get old.
That's not what I'm saying, Craig. What I'm saying is you haven't never looked in the mirror.
No, I have not.
Oh my God, bitch, you got gray hair now.
No,
like, oh
I have not. I honestly have not. I have never.
Girl, because you don't look like how you looked when you was 20.
Bitch, let me tell you something. I went to Hampton University.
Girl, don't tell me what them people said up there, because they, you know, you North people, y'all.
Right, the gays love calling people old over 30.
That's not what I'm saying, Craig.
I'm just making the point because Durant mentioned it, and I agree with him. But no, what I'm saying is when I went to Hampton, aging is a blessing.
It is a blessing.
No, I never look at the
okay,
mirror.
boom, you answered the question.
Okay, let me say
subject.
this. No, it ain't no next subject,
yes,
bitch, because I gotta elaborate.
No, bro.
I think people are afraid of growing old alone, yes. And I think people are afraid of getting older and having ailments or, restrictions and not being able to, have everything, being able to do everything you were able to do before. But I never look in the mirror and like, oh my God, I'm getting older. But what I do sometimes, not all the time, think is, oh, I'm 46 years old now. How much more time did I have how much time left do I have on the earth to do everything that I want to do? I'm never thinking like, oh God, I'm getting old and oh, I look older. I never think that. But I'm just wondering like, oh bitch, because I'm determined to live at least until 90. At least. But I mean, I want to live as long as I can, as long as I don't want to be here if I'm
you gotta have somebody taking care of you, wiping your ass.
Well, I don't care about somebody taking care of me, but as long as I'm in my right mind and I'm not in some vegetative state, if I'm in that way, take me on up out of here. Take me now, Lord. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I'm functioning like Carlton's Aunt Mary, she's like 92.
She looks good.
That woman moves around. She smokes weed. She eats edibles. In fact, she gave me some edibles. I mean, she moves around and she's talking. She's in her right mind. Yes. Like, as long as I'm like that, I only get better with age. Come on, Paul Green. It only gets better with age. I really don't feel like I hit my stride until I was 40. And the other part of what I was going to say was when I went to Hampton this past weekend, I stopped at the campus because I wanted to go into the building where I used to do work study. And I talk about it on Patreon, but I didn't really have to do work study. The people that I worked with, they loved me. So it was an office full of women and they just loved me. And it's only one woman that still works there now. Everybody else has gone someplace else, but they loved me so much that they would just let me come in. They would sign my time sheet, say, "Child, going up out of here." Like they loved me. They just, and I just think that they, not so much that it was me, but I think that they just loved to see a young Black person in college. Mm-hmm. And they didn't give a damn if I worked in that office or not. They wanted me to get my little check so I can finish my education. So I stopped in there this past weekend. There was only one woman there, and I walked into the office and I could hear her on the phone. And I said, "That's her." I recognized her voice. And so Carlton was standing there. And so I went around the cubicle and she turned around. She said, "You can sit right here. I'll be right there." And she was on the phone. She turned right back around. And then she did a double take. She turned around and she said, "Oh my God." And she got up. She said, "Oh my," and she just hugged me, right? I didn't video that on Patreon because Carlton was like, "Well, she may not want to be videoed." I said, "You're right." So I didn't video that part. But we talked. She said, "You look the exact same." She said, "You still look like a little boy." She said, "You look the same way that you did at Hampton." And I said to Carl, I said, "See, I've been trying to tell you." Okay. I got a little gray down here. I ain't got no gray down here, though.
Grandma threw up in my mouth. I've been drinking.
He's still young down here.
Grandma threw up. What Big Mom said? Bill, if I see a Shablanka, girl, I'm going to stew up. Try to hook the hookah.
This is the only gray he has. And I call that character.
Girl.
Listen, you guys have an amazing night. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Take a few moments to be grateful for something. I truly, 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 truly believe that God can only elevate you to the next level, whatever your dream is, once you're grateful for where you are right now, whatever that is. All right. So listen, remember I mentioned this earlier today on my live that Elliot and I are putting together a new giveaway we're going to do it sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're going to do 300 bags or backpacks or whatever it is that we're going to do. Those of you that are on Patreon, we did it a couple months ago when my mom and my Aunt Gloria were here. We gave away 100. Me, my mom, my Aunt Gloria, Elliot, and Leonard. But this time, Elliot and I are teaming up. We're going to do 300 bag giveaways. And we had like little for homeless people. So if you want to participate, we'll give you information as we go along. Elliot has already purchased the 300 backpacks or bags or satchels that we're going to give out. And we're going to load it with like socks, like brand new socks and things like that. Like little nibbles, things to eat on, and probably hand sanitizer and just different things like that. Things that people could use. All right. So have an amazing night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you so much. Bye.
Bye.